Hi everyone, welcome to the video. This is a continuation of the Batocera guided build. This is video number 5, part 5. So in this one, same as usual, we're just going to add a couple more systems. They should be relatively straightforward. Future Pinball is slightly different in the fact that it requires Wine, which is kind of a Windows, not emulator, but it's an application for Linux that allows it to run Windows applications, which Future Pinball is. So that'll be a little bit more involved getting that up and running, but obviously we'll get to that when we get to it. First things first, let's get the ROMs copied across. So as usual, I have Batocera up and running here inside a virtual machine, so I can have them side by side. So let's just go in here quickly with a spacebar down to network setting. Double check that IP address is not 97, which is good. So let's come down and do run, then that to view, double backslash, then the IP address, and you'll get the shared folder come up. Go into here and into your ROMs folder. Now let's just quickly whiz through these. Atomiswave is arcade type games, so let's just extract this. So in that folder in there, I've got it already in history, but if not, you can just come here, click in the address bar, either do Control C on the keyboard or right click copy, then you can come up here, either highlight everything or just empty that box and do Control V or right click paste, just to get that in there. If you get prompted to overwrite anything, just say yes to all. And this one, I think, is the RB build exclamation mark, obviously case sensitive as well. Like I say, this one, these are the arcade machines for or arcade games running on certain hardware, the Atomiswave stuff. So we're just letting this copy across, slightly bigger, not nearly 1.8, nearly 2 gig, a little bit bigger than the others. So I'll just give this a minute to copy across. Like I said before, I don't tend to like pausing the video. I'd like to do everything in real time so you can see how long it takes and any kind of little issues that pop up. But this is going to take just a couple of minutes here because it's got just over 3 minutes to go. So I will pause it for a second and then be right back. Okay, that one's finished. So we just go back up one level and to C20, which is the Vic-20. Should in our history list have that folder still. Same password. RB build exclamation mark, capital R, capital B, and another B. This one took you a bit quicker, so I'm not going to bother pausing here. Okay, just say yes to all, but can't over anything. Okay, Future Pinball. This one is bigger, so it's going to take a little while, so let's just kick this off. Same password. There we go. Yeah, this next few minutes. And the tables aren't particularly big, but there's quite a few of them. Quite a few of them in there, so let me pause and be right back. And this is why I like to do stuff live. This is actually to do with the fact that I virtual machine. As it turns out, I've only got a fairly small hard drive that I set. Obviously wasn't generous enough, so there's not enough room on the Batocera machine to actually copy this stuff across. So that's going to error. So again, what I'll probably have to do is shut this down, put a bigger drive in it, or expand the drive, and then come back in a second. So I will pause this time. You don't watch me mucking about with the machine because it's kind of irrelevant. It shouldn't happen to you guys. I mean, if you get that message, it'd be down to storage. You run out of space on your machine, and I might be able to actually just just confirm this. Because obviously I'm in a virtual machine, I can hopefully quite easily expand the virtual disk, make it a bit bigger. If you're on a physical machine, that's obviously harder to do without replacing the hard drive. So you can see there, look, yeah, 99% full, using 24.51 out of 24.53. So yeah, it's full. You see here because it's running on VirtualBox. So yeah, I'll have to go and sort that out and give it a bigger drive. And yes, I'll pause the video and hopefully back very quickly. Okay, back. The system's back up and running. Obviously for you that was instantaneous. For me that took a little while. It may be something I might make a video on at some point, because yeah, you have to go and do some kind of like some commands and change some config files and restart. But basically I've given it a bigger disk, and then Batocera had to go and resize partition on that disk to give me the full space. So now if I go into information, I made it 100 gig, it was 32, so now we've got a bit of space to play with. So now I should be able to pick up where we left off. So we've got the ROMs folder here. Let's do Pinball again and do extract. Do to that application. There's some stuff already there to say yes to all. RB-build, and away we go. So again, this should take, well, it's going to take a few minutes because of the size of it, and it's a bit slow because it's going across the network. I mean, even though it's on the same machine, it has to go through virtual network adapters and or whatever. Yeah, you know, it takes a few minutes. So yeah, it's going down quicker, but it'll take a few minutes. So I'll pause and be back in a second. Okay, so that's done. Let's just go back. I think one more to do. ZX-Spectrum. This one should be quick, he says. Same again. Pick the folder. Same password. And away we go. Let's just double check that Pinball. Whoa, we're waiting for that. Yeah, you can see there's quite a few tables in there. Quite a few. Architects, just yes to all. Right, so we're done. Got there in the end. now have some more space in the Batocera box. So anyway, right. Let's close all this down. Right, over to Batocera then. Like I say, to get it to check or detect the new games, you can either do a reboot or you can hit the spacebar, go to game settings, and do an update game list, and say yep. So now, with any luck, we've got future pinball. I'll probably do this one last, like I said, it's a bit more involved. Got the Vic-20 in there now. Begins all the artwork for the Vic-20. Sketch them out. What else did we add this time? The Atomiswave. See what I mean? These are a lot of arcade machines, mainly fighters. Let's just try one quickly. Just better get starting up. Escape to come out. What else do we add? The ZX-Spectrum. For some reason there's some games in here with no artwork. It's on the bottom, that's interesting. I thought everything on here had a full set. We'll do a reboot and make sure that that's not just a glitch. And obviously if there are any missing like this, or you add your own systems and need to scrape, I have done this before, but you can do an individual game by basically going to it and holding down the select key on it, whether that's enter on the keyboard or your green, your A button on your gamepad, and come down to, you can edit stuff about it, you can edit its name, any other information that's in here, like description, pick images and stuff for the artwork, the developer, the rating, all this kind of stuff you can change if you really want to. If you want to scrape an individual game, you'll hold down that button again and go down to scrape, and it will do the scraping just for that game for you. If you want to do a single system or multiple systems, come back here, go down to scraper. Now I have covered this in other videos. I tend to use screen scraper. This works really well. Hit enter here, you've got a couple of options, but in my experience, screen scraper is by far the best. You've got some settings for screen scraper. So these are what I use. So for the image source is screenshot. For the box source, 2D box art. You can have, I think it's 3D box art as well, but I tend to use 2D box art because it seems to be more readily available. And then the logo source is basically the clear logo, and I use the wheel icon for that. There's other stuff you can scrape, community rating. You can scrape the video. I turned it off on here just to save a bit of space on the virtual machine, but normally you probably want that on. Fan art is kind of the background art when you're browsing through the game. Obviously the bezel, quite explanatory. A few others, like I said before, sort of map and manual you can scan for. Pad to keys is more for kind of the computer-based systems that expect to be controlled by a keyboard, and there's some predefined sort of pad to key mapping. So pad to key is an application that will basically take a controller and convert its inputs into keyboard keystrokes. So that's useful. And obviously you need to put user and password in to use Screen Scraper, but it is free. They do have paid versions or ones where you can donate and get basically more scrapes per day. But the free one gives you something like 20,000 items a day that you can scrape for free. So you just go over to their website, description's in the link, screenscraper.fr. It's a French hosted site, but you can have it in multiple languages. Create a free account, then come back here and put those details into these two boxes. I've got my username, well, my username would be in there, I haven't put it in yet, and then your password goes in that box. And then when you're happy to go, basically option which ones to scrape, so basically re-scrape everything, or only scrape games that are missing one or more bits of data, or only scrape games that are missing all their data, i.e. brand new games that haven't got anything. And that's your options. And then you can say, well, if I scrape that game within the last year, month, week, day, whatever, ignore it. I don't want to waste time scraping a game, because if you've got a large collection, you don't want to go through scraping all these games that you've already scraped. But if I'm doing single systems, I just tend to say no, ignore that. Just scrape anything that's missing. Because it could be that you scraped it last week and it was missing, but since then that bit of artwork has been uploaded to Screen Scraper and it's suddenly there now. So scrape it again and you'll get it. And then systems included. By default, it selects everything. Like I say, you can do one system in here, multiple or all. Quick shortcut is to go to the bottom and say, go to the bottom and either say select none, or select all, or if you do none, you can then go down and say, okay, do ZX-Spectrum, put a tick in the box, hit escape to come back, and then say scrape now, and it will go off and scrape. Also, I'm not going to do it now, I haven't got my details in, so we don't sit there and watch it scraping, but it'll go away and scrape in the top right hand corner here. Top right hand corner here, you'll see a little message saying scraping, and it'll give you a progress bar. Once it's finished, you can either then just do a reboot or come back into menu and go into game settings and update game list just like you do when you add games. So slight divergence there, but there's a couple of bits of artwork missing on ZX, but we'll check that in a minute. Might just need a restart for them all to come in. Now, Future Bimball, like I say, is a really interesting one because it's a Windows-based app, Windows-based program. But you can see you've got all the games in here, all the tables with all their artwork. So let's just try and launch one and see what happens, and see whether it's going to happen sort stuff out automatically, or whether we need to do anything manual. Or nothing at all. So we'll give it a minute, 'cause it might be, you know, sometimes when you run a system for the first time, it has to download bits and pieces in the background. So it is now doing something. Yeah, that one didn't work. Let's just try another one quickly and see whether it was just that table or something else. It starts to load Future Bimball. And then seems to exit. Okay, so I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that to work the first time. I mean, hopefully it's not down to the fact that, you know, I'm running a virtual machine and the graphics card is not powerful enough. So what we can do, for those that have been in the RetroBat series I've been doing, or used RetroBat anyway before, in the wheel here on the right hand side you have an entry called RetroBat, and you go into that and it lists all the emulators and you can launch them manually. You can do the same thing. When I say launch them manually, you launch them basically without a game loaded, so you can basically change their config, test them, etc. You do the same thing with Batocera, but you go, it's not in the menu, you hit the F1 key on the keyboard, and that's where you go back to this menu here. I don't think my mouse is going to work too well in the virtual machine, so I'll have to use keyboard to try and work my way around. I want to get to applications here. So by applications, these are all the emulators. So I'm just basically using the tab key and the arrow keys. Try and get down. There we go. Yeah, a combination of tab, enter, and arrow key. So these are all the emulators that are part of Batocera. So you've got RetroArch, which I guess, you know, does the majority of systems, but then you've got things like, you know, PS3, Scum for the PS Vita, Xbox, PSP. Cemu is for the Wii U, I believe. I think that's Citra as well for 3DS. Dolphin obviously does GameCube and Wii. There's DuckStation for PlayStation, Flycast for Dreamcast, Sega Model 2, PS2, and so F-Pinball config is basically it will launch F-Pinball for us, or Future Pinball. I don't know, is it enter? Yes. Let's just load. Gee, not very helpful. It basically loads an exit. So, I mean, this could be just down to my virtual machine and it not running very well on here. But there is an article. So, like I say, Batocera's got a very good wiki, very similar to RetroBat. So I'll obviously I'll put the link in the description, but it's wiki.batocera.org. If you go down to systems and find Future Pinball, so especially an emulator for Windows. So like I mentioned before, through the Wine application, which is basically a method of running Windows applications on your Linux box. And obviously, because Batocera runs on a Linux OS underneath the covers. So there's some explanation or some guide in here. Yeah, these are the formats to table yet. We're inside F-Pinball, that's fine, that's what we've got. So there's a BIOS file, so it's worth checking we've got that. I'm pretty sure we have. So I'm just going to exit out of this for a moment, just minimize it out of the way, and then what we can do is browse the IP of the machine again. Look at the file share up. Within here, there's a BIOS folder. So you can just see there that we, underneath here, should be WSH57 scriptum.exe. So obviously you can check some against that to make sure it's correct, but we do at least have the file, so we know it's not that. That's all good. We know that we've got the FTP files, basically the Future Pinball tables, in our fpinball folder. We covered those there earlier. It does say there are some tables which have extra bits and pieces with it, like music and fonts. And if it's one of those, they need to go into a subfolder, which I don't think any of ours are. So that's all good. Some configuration here and the keys. So if it fails to launch, it says about doing basically what I just did and do an F1, find the fpinball config and launch it and hopefully get a better message. Obviously we don't get anything. It does say some tables may require certain libraries to exist in the main folder. So it seems that other applications running wine. Maybe the file have been corrupted over time. Try deleting the saves folder and launch the table again. But let's just check this one for wine, see what this is. So like I say, so let's see what's in here. Some open source games are available through the store. This is more around basically running Windows-based games inside Batocera. All this should have been done in the background for us. You know, it should have installed Wine. I think that's all good. Yeah, because there's got stuff around about, you know, using Vulkan versus DirectX. Like I said, I'm running on a virtual machine, so maybe that might be the issue. It might be work fine for you guys, but that's fine. So I don't think there's much else in here to try. Launch Windows games from SSH, which is basically like a terminal connection. Do it so you can open up like a command line interface to a Linux box and run stuff from a command line. But again, a lot of this is talking about Windows, which I guess Future Pinball is. There's some dependencies that some games may need. It does say about running these commands on the box, basically installing these dependencies. Sorry. Yeah. So running Wine is not straightforward. Like I say, what I'm going to do is, obviously you guys have now got the games, you've got the artwork, everything ready to add into your system. What I'll do is release the video, let you guys do that, try that and see if it works first time. If you guys get problems running it as well, then I'll look to make a separate video on Future Pinball and probably Wine in general and how to configure it, how to get it running. Because I don't want to sort of spend time now. This video is more about just adding all the different systems. We've added the other systems and we've added Future Pinball. Like I say, it might be that Future Pinball works fine for everyone else. It'll be running on a physical machine. Just that I'm running on a virtual machine, so where the graphics card just doesn't support DirectX properly or doesn't support Vulkan properly, which I don't think it probably does, and therefore, Future Pinball won't load. It might just be that. So, like I say, I'll give it a try myself on a physical machine. In the meantime, you guys let us know in the comments or on the Facebook page or on the Discord, and let me know how you get on, whether fpinball works straight away for you or not, and if you get the exact same issue where it just this gives you a blank screen, because you know, it give me something to go on then, so I know whether it is an issue with wine or something else. So just before we go, I'm going to try one other table quickly. Let's try aliens. I'm thinking if it happens to every single table, it's more likely to be, well, it will be the emulator, because I know these tables work. So it's just frustrating. It doesn't give you an error message. Just it starts to pop up and then stops. So yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Let's try one more before we end the video. Yeah, so yeah, ending on a bit of a sour note. Not working for me, but hopefully working for you guys. Like I said, the link to these games are in the description. So you know, I guess that's the main thing. That's, you know, to be honest, that's probably what people come in for, to try and get those links to build their systems. So yeah, do that, guys. Let us know how it goes. Feedback either here in the comments, or like I say, preferably on Facebook or Discord. It's just easy for me to track and chat, and obviously other people to chip in and help as well. So it'd be good if, you know, people try this and then have a little conversation about it and find out exactly what's going on. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, more videos coming soon on this. Like I say, the retro bat build I'm doing is still going. It's slowed down a little bit because I've done the majority of systems now. Well, you know, the main core popular systems. I am in the background pulling together other systems for that, and trying to reach that point where I've got at least some games for every single system supported by RetroBat, which would be pretty cool. That's about 140, 150 systems, so I've got less than 10 to go, so very close on that one. And then, like I say, the Batocera build, this one is going to kind of follow suit, and we'll build this up as well. I think Batocera actually supports a few more systems than RetroBat, interestingly, so that'll be interesting. And then, like I say, I'm going to hope to do some other videos as well. Everything so far has been on sort of retro gaming, so I might try and diversify. It's meant to be that, you know, Raps's tech hangout, not just retro gaming hangout, but obviously that's, you know, the main passion, the reason it started. So yeah, rambling on now. So thanks for watching. Please like the video, please subscribe if you haven't. Either it's your first time watching or you've watched many videos and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's completely free for you. It helps me out, get my numbers up, and aid you in the fact that you can then get notifications when new videos are released. And also, please like the video, presuming you did like it, because it just helps with the I think getting it on the search results in YouTube. You know, the more likes, the more popular video is, the higher up it goes. I think that's how it works. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.